I don't even know where to start with this. It's been so long since I've like sat down and like looked at the camera, talked to the camera. I know it's been a while since I posted on YouTube, but I mean, I've been on Twitch and I have a podcast going right now with my friend. So I have been out in the social media world, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff, but I've been away from my personal YouTube channel. And I don't know, it kind of, with new beginnings, it's 2024. I feel like I've been doing a lot of soul searching and stuff, so I'm back now. So this is going to be a little bit of like a update on how my life has been going and my mental health, and I don't know, just everything that's been going on recently. And then I'm going to get into my Japan trip, which is probably the main reason why you clicked on the video. I'm gonna be a little vulnerable with you guys. So first things first, I kind of want to just get into like what's been going on in my life. Big like milestones have been happening recently for me over the past like couple years. Just to get straight into it, I started a new job. It's supporting my dreams and goals in life and everything. I was in a relationship for 2.5, going on 3 years. During that relationship, I also moved out on my own, feeling really independent, and it was a great experience. It kind of took a turn. Really, my mental health really took a turn going through changes in my life, cutting certain people out of my life, whether that be friendships that weren't healthy, family relationships that weren't healthy, kind of like self-discovery and figuring out who I am, what I want to do. Still got a lot to learn, but yeah, my most recent relationship was a lot to take in. I fell in love with my partner's family. I grew really close to their mom and father. Unfortunately, it came to an end around June, July last year. That's kind of when like my life went on a big spiral. It was a really unexpected like breakup. Let's say I had like 5 or 6 ducks in a row for myself, but my past partner did not have any ducks in a row, you could say. So it kind of just took a toll. I still care for them and want the best for them, but it's kind of like an acceptance of like, I deserve more, deserved better. They didn't want to have any regrets on missing out on other options. And that's the best way I can put it. Kind of putting your all into something and, not really getting anything back in return type of scenario. It was a lot. It was a lot. I don't know. When I get into relationships and stuff, I put all my love and effort, time, energy, money into that relationship, and I forget about myself, which I think also was a big problem too. I know it was a big problem too, because that saying of like putting on rose-colored glasses, and so you can't see the red flags. But yeah, it was pretty crappy. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't want to get too detailed on it. I don't want to bash them or like drag them or anything like that, because I'm kind of like in a different headspace. In the beginning of that breakup, I was really just lost. I didn't really get the closure or the answers I feel like I needed. Yeah, when the breakup happened, I just started back at work. I came home and they said what they needed to say, and then they left that same day. But yeah, so it was just kind of like a spiraling moment for me. Like, I needed to get my shit together. I needed to figure out what was going on. I went through a really bad depression. I lost like 30 to 35 pounds within a month. Not trying to do like a little sob story, but it was a lot. I kind of had to remember who I was and figure out who I was, and remember like, oh, well, you still have yourself. Don't forget that. You have yourself at the end of the day. And I'm grateful for the friends and family that were there and supporting me throughout that time while I was lost, but getting stronger mentally and physically, I guess. But mentally, I was getting stronger and healthier and happier as time goes on. And you still have those moments where you kind of like you're never fully healed, and I could say even now like I'm still healing from that whole experience too. But yeah, the plan for Japan was that me and my past partner were going to be going together, and this was going to be our first out of the country trip and stuff. But things happen, life happens, and that wasn't the case. but I did tell myself from the jump, like, I've always wanted to go to Japan. The culture, the food, anime, everything about it. It was my number one goal in life, make my way to Japan, no matter what. And actually, I was going to go by myself regardless of anyone else, because I kind of have figured out over time that I don't want to wait for anyone. I always put people before me in my wants and needs, and I lost sight of that. Even when in the relationship, I did say, like, hey, no matter what, like, I will be going around these dates if you're ready or if you're not. Kind of just got to that point where I'm like, I need to do me, you know, which was scary to think of, but also like I knew it would be very liberating if I did go by myself. Just one tip that I have for anyone in the world is just don't hold back, don't wait. Because you never know what will happen in life. You never know who will come in and go. You just never know. We don't know if another pandemic will happen and countries will be closed off, like you'll get sick or something. You don't know if financials might change. You have it right now, but you might not in a couple months, and you just don't want to miss out on the opportunities. You want to just go for it. If you want it, go for it. That was it. November, December happened. I started training with this woman in my department, my new department at my job. I kind of just was talking about life, and training kind of turned into therapy sessions here and there. And I talked about Japan with my trainer, and over time I became good friends with my trainer. Her name is Leah. Hi, Leah. I told her I was going to Japan, and she was like, oh, I've always wanted to go. And I was like, girl, come with me. And she literally was like, okay, cool. I kid you not, in a span of maybe like a month of me and her talking about it, when I finally came down to, okay, I'm buying my tickets, and she was like, yeah, girl, just let me know how much it is and I'll send you the money. And boom, I had a friend going with me to Japan. Really exciting. Like, we've hung out and gone on hikes. We went on a hike together, and we've hung outside of work together a few times. We've never spent the night with each other. We've never done that before. So it was a very spontaneous experience to do this with her, and I'm forever grateful that I met her. We clicked so well, and she was so open and same type of excitement as me to be going to Japan. It was great. It is great. It was great. Everything was great. Now, getting into Japan, I want to say in total for the tickets were about $1,000 round trip. Let me tell y'all, this flight was crazy. Georgia to LA, I want to say was in total maybe around 7 to 8 hours. And then from LA to Tokyo was 11 hours. And I think that's because of some weather and stuff too. We came in at one airline. I forgot the airport's name, but I'll pop it up on the screen. But then from Tokyo back to LA, we departed from a different airport. And then that only took 9.5 hours. Now, let me just say, okay, the excitement and being so eager from Atlanta to Tokyo, the flights, yes, it was long, but it went by kind of quick. The flight from Tokyo back to LA, so it was 2 hours shorter. My body was aching. Hips were hurting, my knees were hurting. Like, I could not sleep at all. Like, I was so uncomfortable. So along with the time change, along with the late nights and getting up early because of all the things that we were doing and just adjusting, like, everything was happening so fast. And I think my body was kind of like, yo, like, I'm tired. Shout out to Milan. I met him a couple years ago, and this dude was he's just so inspiring. He's around my age. I don't know how old he is, 24, 25. I don't know. My bad. He was just so inspiring. When he wants something, he goes for it. He's been to Japan and back multiple times. I'm pretty sure he's been other places too. His energy was just so amazing. He was and is doing what I want to do lifestyle-wise. He's literally living in Japan right now. That's a dream of mine, which I'll get into in a second. I'm grateful that I met him because he really did truly inspire and also helped me out a lot while I was out in Japan. He was actually the one that told me, hey, don't fly directly to Japan from Atlanta. You're gonna spend way more. Go to LA, then fly out from there, because you'll save like damn near $500 to $1,000. Definitely helped making this trip smoother and easier. We stayed out there for, I want to say, 10 days. We hopped between 3 hotels: Shibuya, Shinjuku for 2 to 3 nights, Tokyo for 2 to 3 nights, Osaka for 2 nights, and then back to Tokyo for the final night. Now we're gonna get into what went down in Japan and everything that we got into and how amazing it was. So the first 2 nights we passed by Shibuya Crossing. We went to a cool looking like temple shrine or whatever, and it was like a food festival and that was happening around this park, Ueno Park. Ueno. For the first few nights, we were kind of just like looking around, trying different like street food and everything, taking in the scenery. We saw cherry blossoms. Probably only saw maybe like, I kid you not, maybe 4 trees that were in full bloom or blooming. Still very beautiful, and I'll put pictures and photos up and everything, but it was still very beautiful for what we did see. We saw this really cool arcade claw machine type of place, and I want to say it was like 5 levels. You had the main level that you walked into, then a lower level of claw machines, 3 more levels of claw machines, then a level of arcadey racing games like Mario Kart and other stuff, and then the very top level was a whole bunch of photo booths, 20 different photo booths up at the very top floor. And honestly, I think there might have been one more top floor, but I was done. I was over it. I was like, we need to go somewhere else. I'm hungry. I tried a couple different claw machines to get something for myself, but was unsuccessful. But I ended up winning Leah a like squirrel looking thing. I'm not gonna say I'm happy that I won that for her. I felt, pretty cool, but I was a little jealous that I didn't get something from the claw machines, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll be back one day. It was just so cool. The architecture, the streets, the lights, the lanterns that we saw, the temple that we saw. I'm pretty sure it was like a temple or a shrine. And then when we went to Tokyo is really when we started going out into like the nightlife. And I still want to say, because Shibuya Shinjuku areas is very close to central Tokyo, but we just wanted to like travel around, one, to see the different type of hotels as well, and to be in just different areas, because why not. But we went to 2 different club places. I think one place is called like Voyage. I swear I ended up like falling in love with the bartender at the Voyage place. If you see this, I'm when I'm tipsy, I get flirty, okay? And you just so happen to be the person I wanted to flirt with. I don't even think we exchanged names. We exchanged Instagrams, but you're really awesome. Like you made one of the nights. We played like darts. Yeah, it was an all-you-can-drink bar, which is pretty cool. Kind of funny because me and Leah, we ordered our drinks and then we walked away and we were like, wait a minute, we didn't pay. So we went back up to the bartender and we were like, hey, like, do we need to pay? Is everything okay? And this bartender, rightfully so, because a lot of like the Americans were very stupid, I would say. First night we were there, I would be irritated as well. 2 guys, 2 girls, and one of the guys was, and one of the girls were like very wasted. Whenever they would cheers or something, they would knock their drink on the ground, they would knock the drink on the table, and then there was one point where they were cheersing so much and so hard that they shattered the glass and then kind of played with the broken glass a little bit too. And the bartender I fell in love with, he was even like, bruh, like he was trying so hard to be nice, but I could tell they were irritated, so I understand. But hopefully they could tell that we weren't with them. We kept our shit together. Yeah, that one bartender was like, oh gosh, here's another one. But I get it. But we tried to pay, but he was like, no. Like he was like, your wristband, look at the sheet, it's good to read. And on like the sheet that lists all the different drinks and alcohol they have, it says all you can drink right at the top. Oops. Me and Leah, as we were playing darts, I had to get like 9. And on darts and stuff, if you guys haven't played, like you start with a really big number, say 200, and then each little section is a number that would take away from that big number. So I was down to 9 and I was like, ooh, this is a perfect time to like flirt with him. I went to the bartender and I was like, let me just say, like, I'm learning Japanese and I know some very basic terms, but I can't have a full-on fluent conversation. I can get by though. Being tipsy and not wanting to mess up what I'm saying, literally I just went up to him and I said help in Japanese. And he was like, help. He was like, what's wrong? He was like, is it broken? Is it messed up? And I was like, come here. And then he followed us over to the darts thingy, and then I was like, here, take it. I need help. please. And he was like, oh, you want me to play? And then he was acting like, oh, okay. And tell me why this motherfucker ended up hitting the 9 right on the first one. He wanted to act like he didn't know what he was doing, but he hit 9 with this first try and then won me the game. So thank you. Appreciate you. I ended up like buying shots for all of us, and I bought shots for him too. How they pour their shots, it's really like a half a shot, honestly, compared to, you know, America. But maybe that's just because America has a lot of alcoholics. I don't know. But and he kept pouring the shots like a full one. So a normal shot for back home, but basically a double for over there. He was just being sweet. He was fun. He was cool. Then the next day in Tokyo, we did the Mount Fuji tour. So we went on this tour bus. The tour guide was amazing. She was great. Tour bus, however, felt like it was about to like explode. We made it everywhere we were needing to go. The tour started at 7:45 in the morning, and then we didn't make it back to the train station, Tokyo Station, to get back to our hotel until like 7 p.m. So it literally was an all-day event. We had 4 different stops, and we saw some temples and some shrines in some areas, and then kind of just saw like, you know, a little bit more of traditional Japanese homes. It was more countryside, which I thought was really, really cool to see. The whole trip just didn't feel real, but going to see Mount Fuji in person, it looked fake, so magical looking. When we made it to one of the stops, like I was tearing up while looking at Mount Fuji. It was so peaceful. And also just Japan in general, it's so quiet and peaceful and safe there. Seeing Mount Fuji with the snow on the top, one of the locations that we stopped, we were able to eat, and we were just eating and taking it all in. There was like a garden and stuff, and the final location had a whole bunch of different ponds, and the different ponds had different meanings to it. So there's a reflection pond that you could see a clear reflection of Mount Fuji, and then there was the relationship love pond, and basically you'd go there and kind of meditate to be able to, like, you know, wish good fortune and good love onto yourself. But yeah, the ponds are beautiful. They had a lot of like different types of fish and koi fish and stuff in the ponds, and it was a very touristy spot. There was a lot of street foods there, and I did get ice cream. It was a very surreal experience. It still doesn't feel real, and I'm back home now. Like it feels like it was a whole dream. And then after Mount Fuji, we came to Osaka. The first night in Osaka, that's when we went to the karaoke place. I'm not even gonna try and butcher the name of the city. I'm so glad that we decided to go out and give it a try. I looked up like some karaoke places around that area, and then I came across the Drunken Clam. In the comments and reviews, it was saying like that's a popular spot for tourists. We were like, why not? Let's just give it a try and see who's there. At first, it was a little quiet. We got there probably around like 9-10 o'clock, and I just want to say Japan's nightlife, it's not going to start popping off honestly until about 12-1 o'clock, really. From my understanding, what I was told is that like people work all day, and they work like a afternoon evening shift, and then once they get off of work, they go get food, and then they party, sleep in until around 11-12 o'clock, go to work, and do it all over again, basically. So that was a little bit different. Me and Leah, we start getting tired around 10-11-12. We had to really like adjust. The Drunken Clam, we met so many people there. We met people from Korea, from Scotland, a lot of people from the UK. We were at the karaoke place for like maybe an hour, and we were like, dang, like no one's singing. Like who's gonna start singing? I'm shy, okay? So I needed 2-3 drinks before I started. It was just so much fun. Songs that anyone would know, I started to just like sing it and then point the mic at somebody, and then they would sing the part if they knew it. You had anything from Katy Perry, System of the Down, Frank Sinatra. They were rapping too. At the end of this, I'll put in a video of me singing karaoke with this one guy. He kind of knew the words, but I'll put that at the end. The next day we went shopping a little bit, then went to Universal. We got to Universal a little bit late because, you know, eating a little hungover and kind of just taking our time to get there. Universal closed at 10, and I think we got there at about like 5-6. It was pretty packed, but it was so cool. We weren't able to get on any rides because I think the lowest wait time was like 110 minutes, and then the highest wait time was like 330 minutes. So like there was no way we were going to be able to do that. And also Leah cannot be in the cold for too long, or she literally will lose feeling in her limbs. Won't go into detail on that, but literally had to save her life. We walked around, we took pictures there. If we're gonna spend a lot of time somewhere, I want to go to Hogwarts. I got myself a wand. I got a Sirius Black's wand, and then I got my Slytherin robe. It was so cool. And like the actual like Hogwarts castle, like school, it looked so real. It looked like actual stone. Like you could actually walk up in there. Even though unfortunately we didn't get to go on any rides, we immersed ourselves into this like magical world. So that was cool. After Osaka, we had one final night in Tokyo, and we spent that night kind of just exploring Shibuya Scramble Crossing. We wanted to go back to that one bar and then kind of do some club hopping and actually get into like the club scenes. There we met this girl named Hannah. We hit it off and stuff when we're chit-chatting, and she was like, are you guys doing anything after this? Do you want to come with us to Adam? And there was like 4 or 5 different levels of music. It was huge. Like it didn't look that huge from the outside. You know, in Harry Potter, Ron's dad and his friend set up their tent, and when you go into the tent, it's like humongous. I kid you not, that's exactly how it felt. There was so much packed inside of these buildings. You did not think that there was so much from looking on the outside. But yeah, Adam was so much fun. If you're visiting Japan, you definitely need to go there. After clubbing with them, we had a really late dinner, like 3 a.m. just chatted about life. We went our separate ways, came back to the hotel, and then we went shopping a little bit in the morning before our flight. Our flight was at like 6 o'clock on a Saturday, so we had a lot of time in the beginning. We were trying to go to the Otter Cafe where they have otters, hedgehogs, bunnies, have coffee, and then like play with the animals and stuff. We tried going there 3 different times. They opened at 11. We got there at 11:30, and they were already booked up for the entire day. One thing I will say is make your reservations in advance. There are a lot of things we didn't get to do because either it was fully booked for months in advance. I definitely feel like you need like a full 2 to 3 weeks there, honestly, to really feel like you got a good amount done. Like we definitely got a good amount done, but I just wish we had more time to do some more things too. I just didn't want to leave. I didn't want to come back home. I met so many different people and made so many friends. So now when I go to the UK, I have like a good handful of people I could hit up to hang out with. And then same for when I go back to Japan. So now getting into the next chapter in my life that'll happen at some point, I definitely see myself living there. The goal is either 2025 when my lease is up here in my apartment, or probably 2026 to give myself enough time to prep and stuff. I would want to go there on a student visa to learn Japanese, and I think you can live there on a student visa for 1 to 2 years. The world is so huge and we're so small on this planet. There's so many places to visit and see. I haven't even traveled around in my own country that much. The ramen was amazing. The food was amazing. We had like tonkatsu chicken, and our favorite thing to do was to go to 7-Eleven like whenever we wanted a snack, stock up on like vitamin mineral jellies, the drinks, ice cream and chips, and we tried all these different things, which by the way, sweet potatoes in Japan, top notch, top tier. Didn't realize when you order a large beer, you're literally getting one that's like the size of like your head. So I could not leave without finishing it. I could have, but I didn't want to. I needed to finish it. So I had a huge ass beer while I was out there too, a couple of times. It was such a big accomplishment making it out there. Super grateful and happy that I had a friend to experience it with and kind of get lost with. Like when I told you guys earlier, like I went through a really big spiral, a really big depression. The thought of going to Japan really left my mind for a while. I'm really proud of myself for still sticking it out and going and planning it. The experience was just very eye-opening. I feel like I was doing like a soul search while I was out there, and all the crap that you go through in life, like it's just a page and a chapter of your book of life. You know, it really is true. You learn a lot of lessons and you figure out who you are. We're forever evolving, learning and changing and growing. Don't wait on other people. you know? Like, that's the one big thing, and one thing that I'm like living by is I'm not waiting for anyone. So you shouldn't wait for anyone. This is your life. This is what you want to do, so you need to do it. If you've already been subscribed to my YouTube channel and you're clicking on it to check back in on, you know, where have I been, thank you. I appreciate you guys being here for so long and, you know, sticking it out. It's literally just the beginning of this new chapter of my life. We're on to volume 2 of Julia's book of life, and I'm excited for what's to come, genuinely. Don't forget, I'll put in the karaoke video at the end. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.
No one to tell us no or where to go. I say we're only dreaming.
Holy shit! All right, Jasmine, I think it's time to hold you.
Am I in the world of business Brazil? We're so lucky. We're so lucky. Look at that girl.